Alrighty, friends. Well, I will introduce myself briefly and then we'll get right into meditating together. So, my name is Sydney. I think you're both new to me. I am in Cleveland, Ohio, so in the US, and I've been practicing variations of yoga and meditation for probably 12 or 13 years now. And I very heavily focus now on my meditation practice in the tradition of what's called Vipassana, which is in the lineage of the Buddha. That's where it's thought to come from to trickle down to us today. Vipassana is also translated as insight meditation. And we're kind of going to work just steps towards what Vipassana is. So the meditation that I teach here in our community meditation when I offer this every other month for free on Zoom is Anapana, which is kind of like a step leading towards Vipassana or insight meditation. Anapana just means awareness of the breath. So inflowing and outflowing breath awareness. And we'll end our meditation with a short moment of what's called metta or loving kindness, compassion meditation. That's what I guide. For the most part, though, there's a long period of silence in our meditation practice. So, whether or not you choose to follow the guidance of what I'm inviting you to practice paying attention to in your meditation, or if you already have your own meditation practice and want to do something different, that works just as well too. So there's no pressure. More than anything, I've just wanted to create this space where have a occasional get together where people anywhere can just come and practice presence in their own way so we can kind of cultivate calm and bring more peace to our world, starting with ourselves and hopefully letting that expand outwards. Just in case you want to find me or practice with me or anything like that in the future, my website is sharingcalm.com. Or if you looked up Sharing Calm on YouTube, that's where you'd find the recording of this after the fact or any other yoga or meditation practices with me. But there's no pressure. I'm really glad that you're here joining me today at the very least. So, to get started, something of note, how to sit during your meditation practice is completely up to you. So, I like to sit up onto a cushion. I have a cushion under my seat. I have some cushions under my knees because my knees don't like to drop all the way to the ground. And I like to do the best I can to sit up really tall through my spine, rest my hands in my lap, and allow my eyes to close. Sitting cross-legged might not be comfortable for everyone, so don't feel pressure to sit cross-legged. You could even sit up against something if back support is necessary. You could sit on a chair. If at some point your back starts to feel achy, starts to feel tired, you're welcome to lie down, but try not to lie down for a long period of time, maybe no longer than 5 minutes or so. If you need to lie down for the whole time, that's okay. Just might turn into a sleep meditation. That happens to the best of us. And usually that just means your body needed sleep. And that's okay, because then you've given yourself what you needed during this time. And I think that that's a beautiful thing, a beautiful gift to give yourself, what you need in any given moment of time. We'll be meditating for about 1 hour. So, like I said, most of it'll be silence, but I'll start with guidance so you know what to do, you know what the practice is and the technique is if you're unsure, if you're a beginner, if you're new to meditation. And then either you stick with that technique throughout the silent period in the middle, or like I mentioned, you go on to practice your own sort of meditation technique that works for you. And then I'll bring us all back together for that loving kindness, compassion, or metta practice at the end. And then I'll bring us all out of that together, have some time for questions at the end or comments, reflections if anybody has them. But if not, then we'll all go on our way, hopefully to continue a beautiful day ahead. Alrighty, friends, we're going to get started, as I said. Once we go into silence, just so you know, I will probably mute my microphone just because I have a cat and a dog in my house and to avoid a potential disruption of a dog barking, though it may happen. I'll try my best during at least the silence to make sure I mute myself so that doesn't interrupt anyone else other than myself. So find your comfortable seat. As best you can, try to sit up tall through your spine. Once you find a comfortable seated posture, If you have glasses on, I would remove them so you don't have to worry about the weight of your glasses on your face as a distracting sensation for your practice. And if you're not comfortable closing the eyes, you can always just soften your gaze downward as though you're trying to look towards the tip of your nose. And as we settle in at the start of this meditation practice, at first, briefly, you might just become aware in general of your presence in the room that you're in. Maybe there's sounds around you. Perhaps you notice the temperature of the air of the room, or if you're outside, the air outside. And then drawing your attention more inward, start to become aware of the fact that you're breathing. Become aware of the pace of the breath, the general overall feeling of the breath. And as you notice your breath generally, right here, right away, try to let go of any need to change anything about the breath. The one thing of note, as best you can, try to breathe in and out through the nose, but otherwise, the pace of the breath remains its natural pace, whatever that is in this moment, fast, slow, balanced, or some breath long, some breath short. It doesn't matter. Let the breath be its natural pace, breathing in and out through the nose as best you can. And starting to make your awareness of the breath more specific over time. See if you can feel your breath and the sensation of air moving through the nose. As you breathe in, notice if you can feel the pathway of the breath through the nose. And as you breathe out, notice if you can feel the breath in the very same place, though slightly different as the air flows in the opposite direction. You might feel the breath in many other places in your body. You might feel it in your chest, ribs, or belly, the expansion and the softening there, but try to anchor your attention as best you can to this very small area inside the nose, that passage of the nostrils. Feel the touch of respiration, natural pace, flowing in, flowing out. Not looking for anything in particular other than to recognize the actual feeling, the physical sensation associated with breathing. Laser focused attention on the present breath. So if you miss a breath or a breath passes you by, there's no worry. Just start with the very next breath. Following breath in, feel it. following the breath out. Notice it again and again and again, patiently with the mind. If the mind drifts away from that anchor point of the nose and the sensation of the breath, be patient, kind, and give yourself grace. The moment you notice that the mind has drifted is the moment you have the opportunity to redirect your attention towards presence, towards mindfulness of breathing. As you observe the breath, allow for a curious quality of your mind as you notice how the breath feels, maybe acknowledging the temperature of the air. Does the air feel cool in the nose as it flows in? Does the temperature of the air change at all as it switches directions and flows back out? Does the breath flow stronger through one side of the nose than the other? Does the left side feel more air than the right side? Does the right side feel more air than the left side? Is the breath more so or more or less balanced from side to side? And does the flow feel the same on the way out as the way in? Observe the breath as a way to sharpen the mind, as a way to steady the mind. And as you watch the breath, watching how it changes even just from one breath to the next, we become aware of the reality of impermanence, the impermanent nature of the breath. Perhaps this clues us in to the impermanent nature of all things, but at least the breath. So as we watch the breath flow in and flow out and change and feel different, perhaps from one breath to the next, at the very least feel different from inhale to exhale, as we notice these changes, we work to cultivate equanimity in the mind, Equanimity in the mind is like cultivating a non-reactive mind, a content mind, not craving for the breath to be any different than it is, just observing without the need for the present moment, however it arises, to be any different than it is. Living in the fullness and the wholeness of each breath while it is there, and non-attached, letting it go as it releases, as it passes by. Breath flows in, it arises, we feel it, we watch it, we witness it, we're content with it as it is. And we let it go as it is. Observing the reality of each moment as it is, by staying present with the breath, curious about how each breath feels, any sensation associated with the breath is one to pay attention to, the gross sensations, the large ones, as well as the most subtle. It is possible either now or from time to time throughout your practice that you might not feel the breath at all. If that experience arises for you, then you're always welcome to breathe a few stronger breaths, still in and out through the nose, but more actively pulling it in and pulling it out, so that the stronger breath hopefully lights up some sort of sensation within the nose. And then when you feel that sensation with the stronger breath, really keep your attention in that place where you feel it. Stay focused there, and then return the breath to natural and see if you can still feel it in that same place. You can use those stronger breaths as many times as you need. Stronger breath, not only a tool to use when you can't feel the breath, but breathing stronger breaths if you feel drowsy, tired, sleepy. Take a few stronger breaths, bring some energy back. If the mind feels particularly distracted at any point in time, same thing. Taking a few stronger breaths as a tool to really focus you here. A stronger breath even has sound. That sound pulls your attention towards the breath. And then whenever you can, after using stronger breath, try to let the breath return to natural once again. And of course, as we try to keep the breath, the mind steady on something as simple as the breath, the mind is bound to move away towards thoughts, outside of this moment. The habit pattern of our minds is to continuously analyze the past, reflect on the past, or project into the future, taking us away from the present moment. The technique of this Anapana meditation is to notice whenever the mind does this. Notice the tendencies, the patterns of the mind. And at the moment you notice the mind has drifted elsewhere, no judgment, no frustration, no stress. Just come right back patiently and persistently. Patiently and persistently returning to the breath again and again and again. No matter how many times you notice the mind drifts, how often or for how long, each time you notice the mind drifts away, meet your mind with as much kindness as you would a child, guiding it back, strengthening the mind, attuning yourself to presence, breath by breath, just noticing the simplicity of the breath, the real touch of the breath, the fullness of each breath. And in the very same way that our mind gets pulled away by distracting thought, oftentimes our mind can get pulled away from the sensation of the breath by other sensations in the body. Usually sensations of pain or strain, soreness, discomfort. Try your best to approach distracting sensations in the body the same way you do as thoughts arising in the mind. Notice them, recognize their reality, not judging it as good or bad, and try to bring yourself back to the breath. Simple as that in theory. Not reacting to the thoughts of the mind, not reacting to other sensations in the body. Remain equanimous, content, not craving for a different experience, a perfect mind or a perfect scenario to meditate in, a body with no pain. Let all that go. And be in the experience that you're in without the need to change, without craving, without aversion. At times, the sensation in the body may become so strong, so intense, that there's nothing else you can do but to focus on it. If this happens and you know with a wise mind that the body needs to adjust or change positions, then try to change positions with as little movement as possible. slow, quiet, mindful movement. Because every time the body moves when you're meditating and trying to focus on the breath, that movement naturally enlivens more sensation elsewhere, more distracting sensation to pull your attention away. So only changing positions when needed. Otherwise, breath, just breath. Working to still the mind, still the body, steady this physical structure here. And witness natural respiration, natural breath, the bare breath, nothing but breath, life flowing into the body, life flowing out of the body, breath by breath, moment by moment, patiently and persistently. Work to stay present, one breath at a time. If your awareness has moved away from the breath, gather it back onto the breath once again. Feel the breath in the nose, the breath in the body, the breath in this moment. And then allow your awareness to shift from the breath towards the space of your heart. Feel into the heart space, this area in the center of your chest. Notice right away what you feel there. You might even still feel the breath there. Perhaps you can feel your heartbeat. Maybe there's a sense of heaviness, of tightness, of openness, of lightness. Witness your own heart space here for a moment more. And as you stay present in the heart, start to bring to mind feelings of love. Bring feelings of love into your mind and into your heart, beginning with love towards yourself. Perhaps picturing yourself happy, somewhere happy, smiling, laughing, joyful, filled with effortless and abundant love inwardly, love radiating within your heart. If this feels difficult, maybe offering yourself forgiveness, gratitude. Imagine giving yourself a big, warm, comforting hug. And again, if offering love towards yourself and feeling this self-love, self-compassion doesn't come easy, you can stay here, working right here, bringing yourself and your mind through moments, through places, through interactions that bring about that feeling of love. Whether now or at some point that love feels abundant, feels like the love is radiating in your heart, expanding through your whole body, ready to be shared. Then at that point, allow the vibrations of love and compassion from your heart to ripple outwards, starting at first with those whom you have in your life that it is easy to love, bringing these folks into your own mind, holding them in your heart, sharing compassion, kindness, love, everyone smiling, happy, laughing, joyful, playful, filled with love, gratitude, forgiveness, compassion. Letting this love continue to ripple. This feeling of metta, compassion, loving kindness ripples effortlessly outwards, exponentially growing to expand beyond just yourself, beyond those in your life whom it is easy to love, and now to encompass perhaps your entire community. the area you live, people you don't know, but you might pass by on the street every day, every week. People in the periphery of your life, share and feel this vibration of love in your own heart space being shared, expanded. Continuing in ever widening circles outward and outward. Picturing everyone in your country held by this love from your own heart, so much compassion, so much love, effortlessly shared, expanding to the entirety of the continent you're on, the hemisphere, perhaps the whole world, the whole universe, and all the universes beyond, as far as your heart allows. Feel love vibrating, vibrating, compassion rippling, rippling wide and far. Allowing all beings, humans, non-humans, living, non-living, those from the past, present, future, everything, everyone, everywhere feels the love, kindness, metta, compassion. They feel touched by this sensation from your own heart, shared, freely and fully shared with all others, everywhere, all held in the space of love. And staying in that feeling, meditating upon that feeling for a few moments of time. Like with each breath, it grows more and more, either within, towards yourself, or any amount outwards, growing. Infinite love. And in this space of your heart, allow these words to be an offering to yourself and all others. May I be happy. May I be peaceful. May I be freed from suffering. May I be filled with love. May all beings everywhere be happy. May all beings everywhere be peaceful. May all beings everywhere be freed from suffering. May all beings everywhere be filled with infinite love. Start to collect your awareness back to your own heart now, back to the center of your very own chest. And then invite your awareness to return to your breath again. Briefly notice the breath flowing in, natural breath in, natural breath out. And gradually lift the hands to connect the palms together. Once the palms touch, feeling that touch, and then rubbing the hands together to create friction, warmth, heat. Once you feel that warmth, that heat between the hands, taking the hands to squeeze and rub onto the arms, the shoulders, the neck, upwards on the face until the eyes are covered slightly by the palms. And blinking the eyes gently open, releasing the hands down, looking around to the colors and textures of the space, the room that you're in, just coming back out from your meditation mindfully, patiently, and gently. And that concludes our meditation here together. Thank you so much for joining me here presently or anyone watching in the future. And in case you're watching this not live and in the future on YouTube, and you want to join me live for one of these meditations, another time, my plan and goal at this period of time, if you're watching this 10 years in the future, this may no longer be true, but if you're watching this close to real time, is every other month at the very least to offer this free live on Zoom or some other video conferencing software community meditation where we can all come together to practice presence, to practice and sense simplicity. I believe that life has been drastically overcomplicated and become way more complex than necessary in our modern society. I think that many people would agree. So it really is not easy, but I think imperative to spend time practicing just being present and being still with your own breath and with your own mind. And there's so much that you can learn, wisdom and insight that you can gain about your own experience of your own life within that space of silent meditation. Again, thank you so much for sharing your time with me today in this meditation and in this practice. I hope that you continue to practice again and again. Be patient with yourself, be kind with yourself. Every day is different. Some meditations easier, some harder. There's no goal, there's no ultimate end goal in meditation, I suppose, beyond enlightenment or liberation. But I don't believe that I am the next Buddha. Maybe you believe that you are, but I've let go of that goal. And my goal is simply to cultivate a sense of peace and connect with that sense of peace in my own heart, and hopefully to help others connect to that too, so that our world can be a more kind place, a less violent place, and we can all live in a greater sense of harmony with one another, whether today or sometime far in the future. Every action, every moment that we spend cultivating that within ourselves helps that world to become a reality. Thank you, my friends. I'll see you again soon. Goodbye.